Thanks for tuning in, if you are, for another episode of Unreal Talk. I'm Brian. This is Dave.
I am Krooked.
I'm Snap.
We just found these guys on the street.
Yeah, it kind of happens sometimes. We wander.
For change, something
panhandling.
about a YouTube channel that needed help.
Yeah, we need to fund our gaming addiction.
Subscribe.
Subscriptions, please.
Like, favorite?
They're like,
Comment.
they will beat Super Metroid for money? I don't
Super Metroid is a great game.
But yeah, these guys invited us on here. We wanted to talk about, what are we talking about today?
Video games. Because that's what you guys do, and that's what we used to do more. I'd still do it. He kind of fell out of it. He bought the PS3 for the Blu-ray player. I was like, fuck yeah, Soul Calibur.
I bought a PS3 for Kingdom Hearts 3. Just saying.
I bought a GameCube so that all my friends and I could fight without our fists.
Woo! Smash!
that is until the game. Well, do you remember there was it was a comedy act where the one dude was saying eventually it'll just be two people just beating the shit out of each other and they're like, good game.
That would be a good.
That does sound like fun though.
Yeah.
I could put on my Mario costume.
Oh yeah.
Smash Brothers, real life.
Black Lantern Mario just.
I have an unfortunate addiction to video games. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, I'm addicted to video games. But, I mean, for me, it's like a real thing. If I go one day without playing, if I go a whole day without playing at least any kind of digital entertainment, it really messes with me. I mean, that's my stress relief. That's, my go-to when I need to just kind of think about something, get my mind off something. I'll go, shoot somebody on Team Fortress or Counter-Strike or something,
What's a day without video games?
It's horrible.
Well, I know how you feel. I can't go a day without shooting somebody, but, my lawyer told me not to talk about that.
I know the feels. So video games. I remember Dave mentioned something about DLC being something that he wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, because there's a certain point, maybe not so much now, but before, where DLC was just paying for the rights to access some shit that was already in the game that they just wanted a couple extra bucks for.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. I think DLC can be a great thing. I mean, if you make a game and 6 months later, all the fans are like, we'd really like this to be in it, and then you put it in there, yeah, charge for it, cool, awesome. But there are a number of games, some of them are awesome, some of them are definitely not, and they're coming out with disc-based DLC, which means when the disc ships, all the content is already on there, and you have to pay up to $5 just to access that content.
Yeah, to unlock something you've already bought.
That's really bonkers. I mean, my most recent experience, I'm actually really behind on the next-gen consoles, even though I talk about how much I like video games. But my most recent experience with DLC was I had Skyrim on the PS3, and their DLC took over a year after the game to come out. And it was only like $5 for the expansion or whatever, but I didn't have a problem with it. It was like, hey, look, an extra chapter.
Yeah, good. It's new stuff, great. If it's improvements to the game, great. I bought Lego Marvel Superheroes on the PS3, and I was punching the walls and screaming. I threw a controller. There's a red mark on the wall out there from where my PS3 controller bounced off the goddamn wall. Because for the 5th time in a row, the fucking Final Battle Galactus fight glitched out and froze on me.
Ooh.
And it just kept happening, and I was on their fucking Facebook page every day, like, hey... They would put up a picture of Ant-Man, and I'd be like, hey, that's almost as buggy as your game. When can you fix it? So eventually they blocked me and banned me from the Lego Marvel Superheroes page. But they did eventually come out with the downloaded updates to actually fix it all. But I went to the trouble of buying the extra character packs and the extra missions, and I'm like, this is going to be fun. And it turns out they were just using that to basically beta test Lego Batman 3.
So it was just bug updates?
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah. It was like every month or two there'd be something, but the Galactus fight would still fuck up. There'd still be freezes and glitching, and then finally I was like, I guess I'll try it this time, and I downloaded the last update, and I managed to beat the game finally.
Yeah, and see, but that actually had DLC that had new content that people wanted.
Great.
Like I remember it had Carnage and stuff. There's another game that came out recently, and I don't want to sound like I'm bad-mouthing it, because the Borderlands series is absolutely phenomenal. However, something that I've noticed, because I play it on the PlayStation 3, is the downloads for the new characters in the new packs and all these other things. They're only 100 kilobytes.
You have to pay for the new characters.
Yeah, it's all new content, and it's 100 kilobytes. what are you going to put into a game that changes so much that it's only 100 kilobytes? You're not. You're just downloading an unlock code, and I don't think that's okay. But that's a huge difference between new games and old games.
So
too.
all the data is already on your game. You just pay to unlock the.
Yeah, it's kind of like
That's weird.
before you unlocked characters just by playing the game. Now you unlock it by buying things.
Yeah.
That's poopy.
I
Yeah.
blame Capcom. They
Crapcom?
started. Yeah, they started this shit with like Street Fighter. Was it Street Fighter 4 when they got
Yeah.
crazy with the DLC characters?
It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna put in these characters and those characters. Like, yeah, they're already there. You're just adding extra skins, or maybe you're just unlocking.
And
them.
charging $20 for every update.
Yeah, people started.
Yeah.
I remember people started hacking the game and started finding characters that Capcom hadn't released yet that are going to be in DLC in the upcoming months.
Oni and Evil Ryu were part of that. I remember that.
So before DLC, there was just expansions you could buy. Like I remember I used to play a lot of RTS. Like Command and Conquer had expansions you could buy. You know, just an extra CD. It wasn't
StarCraft
downloadable.
Brood War?
Yeah, Brood Wars.
Yeah.
It wasn't downloadable content.
The
It was
best
just like
expansion ever.
here's the sequel, kind of. You know, but and those were all great. It was a whole new story, whole new missions, all new stuff, and you didn't have to download anything because the internet wasn't required back then.
Yeah, they had a new. Didn't they have? That's where they had that alien species with like the little crystal technology.
Yep.
Was like one of those downloadables on that one.
Yeah, and it's really like it's all old games versus new games because a lot has changed over the years, and a lot of people don't feel that the new games are as good as the old games, but there's a vast majority who think that the new games are way better than the old games, and
Yeah.
Well,
I can't understand why,
Yeah.
but
I think the disparagement comes in like, let's say you were born 15 years after Mario Brothers, right?
Yeah.
If you look back at Mario Brothers, a game that would be like literally like, you know, E.T. on like the fan.
Whoa.
we don't want to go there, man.
E.T.
E.T. is
the
really
movie, not E.T.
bad.
the video game. What are you saying here?
Unplayable without the instruction book.
Yeah. Yeah, but the first game that you play is like, I don't know, like Halo. And then you go back to like, you know, the original GTA where you've got like a little digital card like this big.
Oh, and the
Love
top
that
view,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
GTA London? Wow!
Yeah, the first video game I ever played is I was over at my friend's house, and she plugged in this weird machine that said Atari on it, and then plugged it into the TV, and all of a sudden she was controlling, you know, this yellow dot guy going across the screen. I'm like, oh my god, you're controlling the TV? Please, may I? And it was so cool. I mean, and then, you know, I went up from there. My dad bought an NES, and we got Super Mario Brothers, which was hard as hell, and I always had to have my dad help me with the fire gates, you know, the spinning fire bits in the castle. And that's, you know, that's where I start with video games. But like you said, like some, like, people these days start with, you know, Halo 2 or whatever, and that just kind of ruins it for me. I mean, I have a daughter, and she, when she was old enough to kind of understand, you know, hand-eye coordination, video game, okay, the first game I had her play was Super Mario World. And then she's just kind of gone up from there, you know. Then I said, here, play this Nintendo 64, and then here, play this Xbox game, you know. And it's been great for her. And she still likes going back and playing Super Nintendo.
Yeah. But like kids, you know, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and we'll like sit there at the bus stop, and I'll hear like all the kids around us like, yeah, you know, I beat like, you know, Call of Duty like 6 or whatever, you know, and they're like 7 years old. It's like, yeah, you've never played anything below like an Xbox game, have
I go,
you?
you
Like,
think you're hardcore because you beat Call of Duty. Play one fucking level of Silver Surfer on the NES.
Oh god, not Silver Surfer!
Oh my god.
And
Play
that,
one level.
there's something that I've noticed over the years, because I've been gaming since Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt on the NES back in 1992.
Yeah.
All the way up until now, I have everything except for the X-Bone because Sony.
Reasons.
And it's something that I've noticed, especially with Nintendo recently, is they're kind of going Sega's route. They're putting out lower quality games that appeal to everyone, but the biggest difference I've noticed between them all is difficulty in games. Hasn't went up, it's actually went down. Now it's simulated difficulty in video games. There's no such thing as trying over and over again with the thought of, if I lose on the 8th world of Mario, I'm going back to the very first level. No, there's none of that. It's
There's no
now like,
consequences.
oh, I just saved 5 seconds ago. All right, cool. Oh, I died 100 times. Whatevs. I have a permanent location I can keep coming back from.
Or like, if you were, wander by the checkpoint and then jump on the spikes over and over again.
Yeah, it's completely different.
It's an interesting stigma because, you go back and you play, like, old games and you're like, oh man, I don't remember this being so hard. But it is. I think you were telling me in one of our videos is that, you think it was always this difficult. It's just that because we've been exposed to all these newer video games, all the next generation games, is that the difficulty is different, not harder or easier, just like a different medium of difficulty.
What I've really noticed is over the years, you've went from objectives that you can easily do within a time limit or no time limit at all to, hey, it's constantly trying to rush you through this thing. Take, for instance, the original Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very slim chance you're going to run out of time on any world because just constant gameplay and progression, you're going to go through it. If you're trying to find little tiny secrets and trying to glitch out the game, you might run out of time, but it's not the most threatening of things. And when it is, you're pretty much at the end of the level anyway, so it's, whatever. But in modern games like Halo and Dead Space and all these other things, it makes it feel like you have to do everything right away. Like, if you don't get here within a certain amount of time, people are going to die. Like, in Halo, you have to go stop the Covenant from taking over this base.
Now, that was just interesting storytelling from my point of view,
Well, yeah, but there's no actual time frame, but it simulates that there is, so you're like, oh god, I need to get there quick, instead of trying to take a more strategic outlook on it.
What's the newest video game you guys have played?
Oh, newest one. I've been playing Minecraft for the last 20-some hours.
You still get into it?
I see.
And you took a break?
Block people. You're all block people right now.
So
that's all
if I just start, like...
No! Don't take my blocks! I had to
like,
build this apartment from scratch.
It's kind of like the original Terminator, when Arnold Schwarzenegger seeing everybody and they're like pixelated and shit.
I know, it's just like...
Pixels? What are those?
I was like, this game, I saw my dad was playing it, and I'm like, okay, well, if he's playing it, I can play it, no big deal. And I bought it at Walmart, I had a gift card, so I come back, and I start playing it, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I keep getting killed, this is stupid. And then I played the tutorial, because eventually instructions, and I like, oh, that's how you make a weapon, okay, now I can make a weapon. Now I've taken over a small town, I've sealed off every building except mine, and then built branching tunnels from my roof to the other buildings. And then, just as I'm walking out the door, a creeper shows up in my doorway, and I'm like, oh shit. And the entire front of my building goes. I was like, oh, you dirty whore.
Now that's an interesting kind of challenge, is, you just gotta hope that one of those doesn't creep up and explode all your effort.
If you lock yourself inside and everything's cool, but it was daylight, and I just woke up. Night's over, it's supposed to be safe. I walk out the door, and he's just like, hey, what's up? I had to rebuild the whole front entryway. Fucking crazy.
Now you can be one of the 80 billion channels right now that just do, like, exclusively Minecraft stuff.
Well, shit, what do I need this for?
To be fair, Markiplier does Drunk Minecraft.
Drunk Minecraft is the best thing I've ever seen. Thank you, by the way.
I should do concussed Minecraft.
Concussion Minecraft.
Beat yourself
Just
in the
get a
head.
concussion and be like, I'm playing Minecraft, everyone!
Oh my god, guys, I forgot where the controller is.
Don't let him fall asleep.
It's in my hands.
It's just like sitting there with the hammer sticking out of your head.
Did Dave fall asleep? No, it's fine, it's fine.
It's like you see me at the beginning of the video and a frying pan comes out of the background and poof! I gotta go play Minecraft.
I might make it a lot more like an old video game,